going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Hoops, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
You're not fantastic today? It's getting weird. There's 2 days in a row that you have not answered that question with fantastic. What's going on?
It's been a long work week. I'll say that.
You won't hear me.
And I know you get it. I know you get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good, man. It's real life stuff happening, and this is the escape. So let's talk some wrestling.
Absolutely. As you guys can tell, we are not alone today. We are joined by one of the spectacular commentators of Absolute Intense Wrestling coming from Cleveland, Ohio, Dustin Alberty. Dustin, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi guys. I am fantastic. Honestly, I'm having a pretty good day. I just had tacos.
Good.
They were great.
Oh, you'd really love you'd love our Tuesday host of the show, Taco Tully. He's pretty awesome. You also love tacos.
Tacos are great. Can't go wrong.
Absolutely. Well, Dustin, happy to have you here. Again, as we stated, Dustin is with Absolute Intense Wrestling out of Cleveland, Ohio. While I may be Mr. Cincinnati, I appreciate Ohio wrestling because so many awesome people come from the state of Ohio that have made it into this business. So Dustin is here to join us to talk all things WWE, AEW, maybe a little bit of NXT, as well as a show that they have coming up tomorrow night. This is their Tougher Than Leather event. Absolutely phenomenal card that we're going to get to here in just a bit. But before we dig into everything, as always, hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe, help us to run those numbers up. 219 YouTube subscribers, 1,075 X followers. Could not be more grateful to everybody that is along for the ride here. Make sure to follow Main Event Network at mainevent_.net. We will also be on the On the Mark podcast, filling in for Mr. OTM while he is in Vegas. Tonight, wherever you get your podcasts, your streams, Facebook, YouTube, X. I'm going to try to get it on our Twitch channel as well. So plenty of places for everybody to catch the show tonight. We also have 5 great interviews dropping tomorrow. Once again, many thanks to Tiffany Avatar, Skylar Ashwood, Hunter James, Carmen Childers, and DM Stevens, who I will be talking with tonight. Cannot wait for you guys to hear these. These are scheduled for our YouTube channel. So make sure to check it out. And as always, support the Wrestling Junkies merch store. Buy a t-shirt, buy a mug, buy a tank. We got some cool new designs coming in the next few weeks as well, hopefully in time for WrestleMania week. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, that's right. So our, I remember.
You're talking a lot. Keep going.
Yeah, because
I like it. I love good plugs. Like when I plug at the end of this whole thing, I'm going to be just as good.
I love it.
Hopefully just as good.
Hey, you're the professional here. You're the professional. This is amateur hour for me.
just because I get paid a couple dollars here and there doesn't mean I'm professional.
Well, we're not getting paid at all, so
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
huge
fair.
difference. But
for the love of the game.
Absolutely.
Right.
April 26th, Tyrone, Georgia, Action Wrestling for their 6-year anniversary show. Landon Hale, the Good Doctor, will be taking on Mustafa Ali, sponsored exclusively by the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Tickets are on sale now at actionwrestling.com. We will be there, front row center. Come hang out with us. We'll have plenty of merch, at least a few beer koozies, and going to have some good times rolling. So now that I have gotten all of the housekeeping out of the way, you boys ready to talk a little bit of NXT?
I'll be honest with you. I don't watch wrestling. That's not true. I do watch some wrestling. I watch some wrestling. I will say, unless I will know tomorrow what Lexus King did. That's all I know about wrestling is what Lexus King did.
Okay.
I will know that tomorrow.
He wasn't on.
You don't have to worry about it. What
no
Lexus
King?
did.
Not this week.
You don't have to worry about
Not
it.
this week, and that's okay. That's
No Lexus
perfectly
King.
okay. I mean, it's just not working.
Heartbreaking.
Anymore. It's
not.
Lexus King's not working?
No.
I don't know, man. People
He
said the
needs to
same
go-
about LA Knight. Now look at him.
Yeah, I think he needs to go back to Brian Pillman Jr. though.
I think so too.
Yeah, that might be. I mean, I admire them for trying, but I don't. This ain't it for me. What's up, Davin, the Tribal Chief? Thank you so much for joining us. Gonna throw one up there for you. Appreciate you joining us today, as always.
I will, because I'm the Tribal Chief. So, hello, Devin.
There's more than one tribe. I don't know if people understand this either. Like,
There
there's
is.
multiple tribes. You can
That's
be
fine,
tribal
but
There are
chief.
multiple tribes.
It's tough to acknowledge.
I mean, there's even
other
multiple tribes
tribal
within
chiefs.
the bloodline.
Yeah,
No.
there is.
Maivias and the Anawais. Two different,
Yeah, and not just that. We all know The Rock's not really part of the bloodline.
Whoa.
He really force fed himself with that family tree when he's like,
man,
I think we found
and my
our first
brother made
topic for
a blood brother bath with that. We're brothers by handshake. Yeah.
I'm gonna be checking out tomorrow on X to see the promo he's gonna cut on you for saying that.
Okay.
Well, hey,
You got 20 minutes. You got 20 minutes to sit
on
down
him
and listen to
being
a
on our
rock
show.
promo.
It's working right now.
We're gonna drive to Georgia, so we do.
Yeah, there you go. 20 minutes. I'll take up 20 minutes of the. What would it be then? I'm trying to think from where you guys are at to Georgia. 3 hours? 4 hours?
Ooh.
Yeah.
No. Try 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, and this is coming from somebody that drove to Cleveland and back in one day yesterday for work. So I would much rather that drive than Georgia. But I think, I don't know, maybe we'll fly next time.
Yeah. 7.5. I mean, I get it. I do it. But.
Yeah. Anyway, starting with NXT, a couple of the big things I wanted to talk about. So it's looking like for the NXT Tag Team Championships as well as the North American Championship that these are likely going to be multi-person matches. Next week, I believe that there's a triple threat number one contenders match that will include the LWO, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, as well as Gallows and Anderson. Winner gets,
hell yeah, good brothers, baby, good brothers.
Yeah,
good brothers.
But here's the wrinkle. Alpha Academy has challenged the Wolf Dogs next week, and if Alpha Academy wins, they're also in this match as Stand and Deliver. And then in the North American Championship picture, Obafemi has his hands full with Josh Briggs as well as Dijak. Let's start with the tag team division here, gentlemen. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. I didn't think that I would enjoy this tag team as much as I have, but it seems to be working, and it seems that they're in a prime position for the tag team championships. Dustin, what do you think of the idea of a triple threat or a fatal four-way tag match at Stand Deliver?
So I love multi-man matches. AIW is a big multi-man match type place, and so as I just said, I love the Good Brothers. I was so happy to see that they're being used for something, even if it is just like an NXT. Yeah. They're going to be just the team that kind of beats up on people, and it's going to be like, oh yeah, and we beat the Good Brothers, which, means something along the lines of the world.
Yeah.
It's always nice, so Wolf Dogs, for whatever it is, it's thrown together tag team. I know there's a story behind why they're together. They fought, they respect each other now, this and that. But when you have multiple teams that can all win, it just kind of adds that all right, I'll at least tune in to see what's going to happen type aspect. Whereas sometimes when it's a one-on-one match, it's all right, well, we know, we can all assume that the Alpha Academy will win, and then they'll be added to the match. There'll be bigger names on Stand and Deliver. We can, as wrestling fans, we know that. But once you get in there, again, don't watch a ton of wrestling, but I do know enough to know that Nathan Frazier and Axiom, right? That's the other guy. Yeah, they every team in that has their reason as to why they deserve the shot, and you're assuming sooner or later Baron Corbin's going to get called back up, and we all know Braun Breaker's already well on his way up, so any of those teams can win, including the Wolf Dogs just retaining. So I think by having that multi-man match, it kind of gives a more of oh, well, who's going to actually win this thing?
Yeah,
that's
for
just
sure.
me.
Fine. Yeah, of course.
I don't watch wrestling.
So I missed the Alpha Academy segment. Is it Otis and Tozawa, or is it Otis and Gable?
Otis and Tozawa. They showed up with Maxine.
Okay, I don't care.
So what's with Tozawa?
You can't be not taken seriously for 5-6 years and then expect me to take you seriously quite yet. I'm just waiting on the booking part. That's where I'm at on that. I'm waiting on the good booking. Maybe the Good Brothers will have that good booking.
You got a long time to wait on the good booking in WWE. Long time.
We're getting there.
Long time.
It's gotten better. Grandpa's gone, so it's gotten better.
It's okay.
Well, yeah, I think going into this, the tag team champions are going to change hands. Obviously, I think Braun Breaker is primed for a very large push on the main roster. What they do with Baron Corbin is, we'll see what happens. Whether he stays in NXT, it seems like he's doing very well in NXT, so I don't see why moving him back up to put him into a nothing program would do anything for him. As far as the North American title, I really want to see Obafemi and Dijak kind of one-on-one. I don't know if I need Josh Briggs on that match, but if he's in the match, it adds another wrinkle. But man, like Obafemi and Dijak would be a hell of a match. It just kind of reminds me of the Keith Lee Dijak matches we saw back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, Keith Lee walked so that Obafemi could fly. Literally, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see. I mean, what they're going to do with these. I mean, especially when there are only going to be 5 matches on this card. I like that at least 2 of these matches are going to have some multi-person elements. Dustin, so for those that aren't familiar with Absolute Intense Wrestling in Cleveland, tell us a little bit about the promotion, how you got involved with them, and again, a little bit more about your penchant for multi-man matches and how they execute.
So, AIW's been around since 2005. I have been a fan since 2010. Just kind of went to shows for a while. The end goal was always like, oh, I'm going to become a wrestler. So like I started going with like I'm going to go train to be a wrestler. Became friends with the owner, John Thorne, the owner who passed a few years ago, Chandler Biggins. Became friendly with them. It turned more into like just a place to go hang out with your friends, which AIW is. It's always been like, it's more like you're going to like a house party where like you're going, you're drinking, you're having a good time. There just happens to be wrestling instead of music blaring.
Sure.
It's great. I went back. I started training with the first class in 2015. I stopped because I was getting married. My marriage ended. I went back in 2018 to start training again. Couple things happened. Being a guy who was recently separated, had to worry about money here and there. Kind of kept going on. Had a couple health issues right after the pandemic ended, unfortunately. So I had to kind of stop wrestling. Training to wrestle pretty much. And I was like, well, I'll just do commentary. And I was like, hey, can I do commentary? They're like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm part of the commentary team now. I help a lot backstage, work in the production. I just started kind of taking on some marketing stuff for sponsorships, things like that. But yeah, I'm basically like I'm an every tool player at AIW. Like I'm just as adept at setting up the ring as I am running the production side, running the live shows. All of our production's done in-house now. We left IWTV about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and we've been running our own shows, running our own production. Do production for Alpha One in Canada, Ethan Page's company, and we do production for Black Label Pro, where I also do commentary for Black Label Pro. So in Chicago,
Very cool.
So I'm a little all over the place, but yeah. So I'm just like I'm the everyman kind of guy at AIW. I'm there at the booking meetings. I'm there taking notes for everybody. I'm there before the show starts for hours, setting things up. Today, actually, at 8:00, our weekly live show, Intense TV, will be on. We run a weekly TV show now every week on Thursdays or Wednesdays if we have a show on Thursday. And I'm kind of in charge of getting those episodes written, making sure those shows are being filmed. I direct the episodes, so
nice.
I'm doing everything throughout the day on a show day, and then show ends, we tear everything down. I'm there till I'm one of the last people usually to leave the building, make sure everything's clean. Just helping out every way I possibly can.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Sounds like a 5-tool player over here. So
I try to be.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Can you, for those who haven't been to an AIW show, and I think Mr. Cincinnati and I definitely want to get up there and do that, but can you describe kind of what the atmosphere is like at one of these shows?
Yeah, like I mentioned, it's a very big party atmosphere. We have like 2 main venues now. We have our venue in Cleveland, Temple Live. That's where the show is tomorrow night. Tougher Than Leather. Get your tickets right now. We're doing really well on pre-sale. I mean, especially that room, once you pack it full of people, there it is. Yeah. Once you pack it full of people, like that it gets so loud because the acoustics in that room are so good. And once everything's kind of rocking, like the energy doesn't come down. Our other venue is in Akron, Ohio. It's about 40 minutes south of here. At the Tadmore Shrine, which I know you have that graphic. 420 When the Smoke Clears will be there.
Yes.
There it is, featuring Hollow Wicked and Frightmare.
Nice.
That's more of like that's more of like what you would think like an indie venue is. It's got that like really bright lights. It's in like, it's kind of like a gymnasium, but it's not actually a gymnasium. Bleacher seatings. We pack a ton of people in there. It's a lot of standing room only. So like all those people standing, all that energy getting built up. It's just a great atmosphere. Very, very fun. Like there's no, even people who don't like wrestling will leave and be like, man, I really enjoyed that. Like I would come to that every week, which they do. They come back every month, which is nice.
Yeah, you have to appreciate, especially being on the indie scene and being able to create, to create fans that want to come back that may not normally watch wrestling. We talk a lot about the casual viewer, when it comes to WWE, AEW, the major leagues. But as far as the independents, you're also getting a lot of those same that same fan engagement. So yeah, let's talk about tomorrow night. We already put the graphic up. It looks like you've got the likes of Effie, Danhausen. I believe that's Demolition there. I saw.
Yes, Demolition will be there.
Yeah.
Special meet and greet with Demolition.
Yeah, very, very cool. So take us through the card, what matches everybody can expect if they're watching at home.
I'll pull the card up right now for you.
Let's do it.
Where am I at? We got all kinds of screens opened up.
That's okay.
I should have had this already. I should have had this ready already. The other problem is that being as involved with AIW is there's like 8,000 group chats going on at all times. So you got to look at the.
We can understand that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of wrestling group chats we're in, and it's hard to tell them apart sometimes.
Some are more fun than others.
It's like, oh, this is just me and the other commentators. This is me and all the people who go to the booking meetings. Oh, this is me and Dominic Guarini, just because me and Dominic Guarini talk all the time. That's the other thing. AIW, we have our own school, so a lot of people you will see are AIW homegrown guys. I mentioned Dominic Guarini. Dominic Guarini is maybe one of the bigger names of people that have come out of the school. Joshua Bishop. I mean, there's plenty of bigger names. I don't know. Again, I know you guys go like south. Those are two of the people I know who work down south relatively regularly.
Nice.
I'm never gonna find this card.
Hey,
there's gotta be. I know there's an easier way. I just gotta open things now. Where's it at?
That's fair. While you're working on that. Okay, perfect.
I got it.
On time.
There we go. All right. So, talked about Effie.
Yes.
Effie making his AIW return. He's been in AIW once before. He is taking on Magnum CK. Who, you guys familiar with Magnum CK?
Yes. Yeah.
Magnum CK, fantastic wrestler. It's going to be very extravagant, as those two tend to do things.
Yes.
And that is a pick your poison match. The other side of that pick your poison match is Joey Janela, who you saw on that graphic.
Yes.
Returning to AIW. He's relatively a regular at AIW. Even before he got signed to AEW, he was on pretty much every single show. He was an AIW guy for the longest time. Former Intense champion, won the JT Lightning Invitational Tournament. He's got his history in AIW. He is going up against Derek Dillinger, who is from the area. He's not a full-on product of the school, but he's now one of the trainers at the school, along with Dominic Guarini. So that's a match that's happening. We have, I mentioned Dominic Guarini, him, another one of our students, Shaw Mason. They have been tagging together recently, kind of a mentor-student type situation, student-teacher type situation. They are going up against Colin Delaney and Cheech to Infinity and Beyond. Colin Delaney, you guys would know from ECW. Yeah. Cheech, you would know from his time in ROH, early ROH Cheech. Fantastic stuff. We have PME, the Philly Marino Experience, with Bill Alfonso, who is another AIW regular. Bill Alfonso has been in AIW since pre-pandemic, 2019. I think he made his debut. He was a manager for Matt Justice turned on Matt Justice, joined up with Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona was the champion for like a year. Fonzie helped him out there. PME were helping out Matt Cardona. PME broke away from Matt Cardona. Fonzie went with PME. And they are taking on Money Shot, Zach Nystrom, and Elijah Dean, who are part of a group called Cash is King with the Duke, who is easily the biggest heel in AIW. Always has been, probably always will be. Just he's a rich guy who is really just kind of a dick, which is it's honestly not far from like his real life. Like he is actually like in real life. It's not a gimmick. He's actually a rich guy who's kind of a dick. And I'm talking about Cash is King. They are Money Shot are the tag team champions, so that matches for the tag team championships. But again, talking about Cash is King, the kind of centerpiece to Cash is King is Eric Taylor, who is the current Intense champion. He is going up against Dex Royal, which, if you guys have never seen Eric Taylor, if you guys have never seen Dex Royal, like the fact that these two aren't on TV already, like blows my mind. Dex Royal is one of the most athletic, just charismatic human beings. Like I saw him, like the first time I saw him, I'm like, that guy's got something, and like, has just taken off ever since. And Eric Taylor's he's a good-looking kid. I don't know. I love Eric Taylor like, as a human being. Like the outside of the AIW space, like Eric Taylor is just a good human being who really needs to get out there way more often.
Yeah, for sure. He's been on our show. He's been on our show once before. Had a great conversation with him, and we've actually got a friend in the chats right now. Another one of our Georgia mainstays, Bryce Cannon, that seems to be admiring the number of championships that you have available at AIW. And you also mentioned Matt Cardona, who he just beat earlier this month to retain the Lariato Pro Wrestling Guild Championship in a banger of an affair. So.
Good on him.
I definitely would be interested in handling some business up in Cleveland.
Good on him. And then I guess, so again, talking Cash is King, Money Shot, Eric Taylor, the Duke, like that's the core group. And then we call him the affiliate. He's their like kind of hired gun. Chuck Stone. He's real life best friends with Eric Taylor.
Yeah.
He is taking on Wes Barkley, who Eric Taylor beat for the Intense Championship back at Terror at the Temple in December. I got all these storylines, guys. Hey,
it's all good. It's all good. That's what we're here
going. Keep them coming.
We got in a match that I'm very excited. Like I split commentary duties with Nathan Zagura. He does the commentary for the Cleveland Browns, like real life does them on the radio for the Cleveland Browns. Like, if you're listening to Cleveland Browns radio, it's his voice and Jim Donovan, which it's always been Jim Donovan, but now it's him. He is doing the match, which I'm very excited about because that means I get to actually sit there and watch the match and not have to like call it. It is the Intense icon Joshua Bishop, Tyler Jordan, who is a rookie, like he debuted in August. He has been feuding with Josh Prohibition, who is anybody who's been following indie wrestling or even wrestling since the 90s. Like, everybody knows the backyard wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that was Josh Prohibition. That was Josh Prohibition, M-Dog
Gotcha.
20. Like, if you go back and you watch those DVDs, like, that's Josh Prohibition. That's where he got to start, were those DVDs. He's in the video games. He's a legend, especially up in Cleveland. And then he is teaming up with another Cleveland legend, Jason Bain, who hasn't wrestled since 2012. So we don't know what we're going to get out of him. He's just a real big, scary guy. And the idea of him and Josh Bishop being in the ring together, like, when you guys watch this show tomorrow, you will see it, and you'll be like, oh, man, like, that's wrestling. That is what wrestling should always be. Just these two big, huge dudes who are just going to beat the shit out of each other. Can I swear? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you just did.
No.
I was going to say, you just did. That's okay.
I just threw it out there. I tried not to.
It's only a family show if I say it, but if a guest does it, it's fine.
Fair enough. We have our scramble, which, again, I said AIW it is just a menagerie of human beings, and the six-way scramble is an AIW classic staple. Let me see if I can remember everybody in this match. I think I can.
Take time.
We've got AIW students. We have Trey Lamar, who debuted with Joshua Bishop back in 2017. Mikey Montgomery, who is former tag team partners with Eric Taylor. They graduated in 2019. I think they debuted. That makes sense. 2019. They debuted 2019. Who do we got? I want to keep the big one for last. We've got, well, I say big one, but Sam Hardway Holloway. He is a real big prospect. We just got him. He came out of the school not this past year, the year before. I mean, dude, he's a big guy with a good look. He's figuring it out. He's getting better every single time we see him. Love Sam, great kid. Filthy Tom Lawler, who you guys might know from New Japan. Yeah. He's another AIW regular. Like, Filthy Tom is on every show. He's one of the nicest human beings in the entire world. One of the funniest human beings in the entire world. He's a great guy to have around. So that's 5, right? So I am missing... Oh, Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham. How can I forget Dr. Dan? Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham took some time off. Had to find himself a little bit. Just getting back into the swing of things. Another AIW Academy guy came out in 2016, I believe. So he's been wrestling since 2016. And then the AIW debut of Microman, which Microman is just maybe my favorite wrestler going right now. He's so awesome.
Yeah.
And then our main event is the absolute champion, Isaiah Broner, taking on the challenger, the Prize City OG, Alec Price, who everybody knows Alec Price at this point. He's all over the indies, top guy all over the place, taking on our top guy. And Alec Price also another relative AIW regular. Like, really outside of Effie and Microman, like, everybody on this show is a regular. Like, Joey Janela is somebody you will see in AIW time and time again. So, like, those guys, they're the guys who are known, like Fonzie, for example. Like, people are like, oh, Bill Alfonso? I'm like, yeah, I see him every month. Great human being. See him every month. It's my friend Bill.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, that's the show tomorrow night. It is live at 7:30, I believe. 7:30 live. Triller TV. It's gonna be a great card. Like, it's gonna just be bangers top to bottom. You'll get to hear my voice more. And like
any
I said,
bold predictions?
Well, the sheet says, yeah, no, it's hard for me to make predictions, and people will be like, well, what do you think's gonna happen? I was like, I can tell you what I think's gonna happen. Like, there's a lot of things that I wish would happen, but it's hard for me to make a bold prediction when also, I didn't mention him because he's not on here. Danhausen will be there.
He was very nice and very evil.
You know, Danhausen. Danhausen is an AIW, like, when he first started wrestling, like, not when he first started wrestling, but, like, he figured out the Danhausen character in AIW. Like, if you listen to some interviews with him, he'll talk about how he came to AIW, wasn't sure what he was going to do, wasn't 100% like on where his character was at. He was just Donovan Danhausen when he came in, and he started painting his face, and it just slowly morphed into what you guys see today.
Yes,
which is very nice, very evil Danhausen.
Yes, I love Danhausen. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, love that Danhausen.
Well, yeah, no, this absolutely sounds like a fantastic card. I know that I'll be tuning in live to check all of that out. Mm-hmm. Where can everybody? Actually, let's pull up the graphic one more time. It'll give you a ticket and event information. Tougher than leather. I mean, look at that lineup right there. It's hard not to get excited for what's going to happen on this card. So definitely cannot wait to see what you guys do. Not just here, but you've got your April show coming up next month on 420 when the smoke clears. Love the name of that show.
That's good.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome for you guys, and we're certainly excited to see how these play out, and then everything else you have coming up in 2024.
Yeah, it's I mean, we've got that. There's also another show between then on 4/11. I don't know if you had the graphic for that one. It's the AIW AIW return of Hornswoggle, or Swoggle, just Swoggle. I don't want to get in trouble. Swoggle, another AIW regular, like pre-pandemic on every show. He had relatively public health issues that he has talked about before and had to kind of step away for a minute, but he's been back here and there. Got that show on 411. That is a so on Thursdays we run, it's called the Mercury Lounge in Lakewood, Ohio.
Okay.
Small concert club. Fit a couple hundred people, a few hundred people in there. Throw them in there, put on like a show that's, I mentioned that we're mostly all students, but like those shows are like very student heavy. You get to really see what our students are capable of. It doesn't stream live. You can only watch it live there in person. It goes up sooner or later on Triller TV whenever they get it up there for us.
Nice.
But yeah, nice. that show is also between then and there. So we have tomorrow night, Temple Live, Cleveland, Ohio, Ticketmaster, get your tickets. Floor seating and premium seating is all sold out. General admission seating is still available. $15 general admission ticket. So you really can't go wrong there.
Yeah. Like kind of entertainment.
I mean, it's $15 too because it's on Ticketmaster, so you have those Ticketmaster fees.
Yeah.
We dropped the price because of that. We kind of were like, all right, fans, we hear you. We're bringing the ticket down. That'll kind of offset the fees. So don't look at the fees as fees. Think of it as like, it's my $25 ticket. Was kind of like our thought process. Like we said, general admission is $25. It's actually $25 now, not 35 or 40, whatever it would have been with all the fees. And then 411 Mercury Lounge, those tickets are available on Eventbrite, I do believe. And then 420 When the Smoke Clears, Tadmore Shrine, Akron, Ohio, also available on Eventbrite. The only place we have to do ticketing through Ticketmaster is at Temple Live. So,
gotcha.
Cool.
So that's it. Those are the show plugs. The shows are
pretty good.
Plugs.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that was spot on. And Dustin, this was an awesome conversation. Definitely appreciate you coming on with us. Before we let you go, where can everybody find you on social media as well as AIW on social media?
You could find me all over social media, just at RevTintin, RevTintin. AIW on everything, at AI Wrestling. You go to AIWrestling.com for ticket information. You can go to patreon.com/AIW. We're revamping the Patreon, all kinds of new stuff coming in out of that. Also, if you're watching right now on X, if you're watching right now on YouTube, in an hour, we'll be starting Intense TV. I can promise you guys, if you watch this episode of Intense TV, at the end of it, there's an announcement at the end of the episode that, regardless of whether you've seen AIW before, I think you guys will be willing to come up to AIW in May. We're making a very big announcement. Kind of hearing it here first, if anybody's listening.
Nice.
Really big announcement regarding our show in May. And I think it's a big enough announcement that, like, even you guys will be like, hey, man, like, tickets to the show. Do you think I can get in? Like, I think it's maybe one of the biggest announcements in AIW history. And I mean, it has a lot of history. If you go back and look at it, there's a lot of stuff that has happened in AIW, but
that's what we call a cliffhanger, guys.
Right?
Make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in.
You can find it on X if you go to the AIW account. You can go to the Facebook. It's on Facebook. It's on Twitch. It's on everything. Whatever you guys are watching this on, you can also watch AIW Intense TV weekly on Thursdays. Unless we have a show Thursday, then you can watch it on Wednesdays.
I'll be watching it.
Yeah. We definitely cannot wait to see what comes up for you guys over the next few months. Dustin, thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate everybody that's watching with us tonight. That's going to do it for us for the week. Catch us on the On The Mark podcast in about an hour's time. The podcast that and I will be filling in for Mr. OTM. Kyle, please come back from Vegas in one piece.
Please, one piece.
Yeah, that's all
go
we're
have
asking.
fun. Don't listen to them. Go have fun.
No, he can have fun. He can have all the fun he wants. That's just the one.
If you're missing a piece, you're still in one piece. Just remember that.
That's good advice.
Yeah, but yeah, make sure to check us out in about an hour. 5 great interviews dropping on the Wrestling Junkies YouTube channel tomorrow as well. Thank you to all of our guests that came on this week. Dustin, thank you again for the podcast, Dad. For Dustin Alberty, I'm Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast, and we'll talk to you guys soon.